Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
Asking Londoners, has Brexit been a success 5 years on?
I went to London to ask people the question, how's Brexit going after 5 years? And specifically, I went to King's Cross, Keir Starmer's constituency, to ask people there whether or not they had a message for the government and whether or not they had a message for Nigel Farage.
We're interviewing people about Brexit today. What are your thoughts?
Have you seen this channel
as
before?
it's the 5-year
No.
anniversary?
I think it was implemented.
Oh,
as
it's
a
the
project
anniversary.
Brutal.
So they left around COVID times?
Yeah, looks like it.
I think Brexit's been
I think
going.
it's a total
That's
disaster.
terrible timing.
I was in Spain last week and trying to just get into EU countries now is horrendous. You're treated, second-class
Ooh.
citizens in queues that you used to just breeze through. I think I'm mostly sad for all of the people who are, teenagers. Or
So what's the
early
difference
20s and
now,
can't
like
go
when
and
you want
work
to
or
go
live abroad?
from the UK to other European countries?
Well, I would think there's a customs border check.
Like that's what US would have to do? Like if
Yeah,
I'm
same
US
as here,
going to...
yeah.
Oh, it's a
Well,
little bit more on the checkout line. pretty
yeah,
much.
because back then there was no, it's just like the same country traveling. There's no borders. Now there is a border, so there probably has to be like a border check or something like that.
Like it's impossible for them. And I think it's so short-sighted. There've been so many problems. Overall, for me personally, it's the travel, but I've not seen any benefits. I think it's completely missold and a disaster, honestly.
I think the fact that the biggest fan of it seems to be Donald Trump says a lot.
Yeah, so I am an immigrant, so I think I generally am against the idea of Brexit, and in lots of industries, including my own and some of my friends, that has impacted their work and work-life balance and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, I can
I'm not
imagine
happy
if you
about it. I'm
work
not
in
happy
other
about it. It's a country-
places, you are limited from traveling.
What other places?
Like if you have, if you live in UK but you go to work in, for example, neighboring countries, and for you to travel, you couldn't do that so easily and time efficiently.
It affects. It affects. Yeah.
I wonder even hiring practice, like filling out your taxes. Like now you're considered like an employee from out of country.
Why you still
'Cause
work in
you-
the country?
No, but if you're working in another country but you live and reside in the UK.
I don't
When you
think
file
anybody
taxes.
works in another country that well, okay, not anybody. Of course, there are some people. I think that's a very small population problem, though.
You think so? Like everyone mostly in UK work in
Yeah,
UK?
Yeah. So what you think they're taking a train for like 2
Why
hours
not?
to
They have
France?
efficient travel methods.
I mean, some people. Okay, sure. Yeah, I can't
Because
say,
they
but
said that, remember, what carries the GDP in the UK is only in London. So if you're not like in London, where are you getting your money?
in other places in UK,
Mm.
people work. There's very few amount of people that work outside of UK. Like they live in UK but commute daily to, I don't know, Ireland or France. But
Because isn't there like a shortage of skilled workers?
right, so why would they work abroad?
I mean, there's other opportunities.
I don't.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
Why you do that to me?
Cause
What do you mean? That's not very nice.
I don't know what you. It's not. I just
That
don't
wasn't
think it's.
very nice.
I don't think it's that common.
on the economy. So yeah, generally not very positive.
Wow. So I'm asking people because it's the 5-year anniversary of Brexit. What do you think of it? How's it going?
I'm devastated still. I was devastated at the time. I'm a musician, so my work is quite dependent on traveling, and it just, I feel very sad about it.
You take it just by hospitality and even outside hospitality, all the experience with NHS, with all the nurses, all the doctors, predominantly coming from Spain or Italy, Greece as well. I'm from Greece myself, so I've seen like groups of friends that used to work here years back, and that workforce feels gone now.
I mean, yeah, touring is tough enough as it is, and I think in the UK in particular, touring is brutal. And it is in America as well, so people are really dependent on having that access.
Well,
to
It
work, and
seems
it's
like the
getting
point
harder.
that I was
It's
making
making it
is
less
was
accessible to
being
be a musician and making it more of
sad.
an elitist
That
job. And
they're working in France and they're commuting to
Well,
France to work.
no, well, it goes both ways. Like people coming in, coming out, work opportunities.
You talked about taxes, filing taxes.
Well, that's just one part, but
That's the part I was
overall.
addressing is the taxes.
No, you weren't.
Yes, it's the filing
No.
taxes. That's how you
No,
started
you weren't.
it.
No, you weren't. Now
Yes.
you're trying to find a leg to stand
Bruh.
on.
That's
Get back.
that's how you started it. You said
No, I didn't. I didn't start with taxes.
you did. You said, "Oh, I wonder how is filing taxes work if you
That was
work
after.
another."
You want to do a rewrite?
That's yes. You started with the tax. That's what I was addressing. I don't think filing
No,
taxes is a
'cause you said to
common
me,
problem for
no,
people.
because you said to me, oh, people, I don't think in UK travel in and out. Yeah, they do.
For work to
I said that's what I said for.
yes, for work. I don't think they travel like that for every
But I
daily
was talking
commute.
about for work. What else
Me
I'd be
too.
talking about?
For tourism, yes, for tourism, people
I didn't
travel.
say for tourism.
So
Did tourism come out of my mouth?
you contradict yourself right now. I
No,
know
I'm not.
you are.
I'm really not. I'm
Okay.
gonna watch back this video.
That's, art can't be
Okay.
elitist. Yeah, everyone has to have it.
I think it was awful. It was a terrible decision. I think the government that started it was really preying on a lot of people's frustrations, insecurities. A lot of people were kind of suffering at the time, and they preyed on that definitely.
Has it affected you personally? It sounds like it's affected your work.
Yes, my work it did because I work with different companies,
Yeah.
and now we have to outsource a lot of our projects to India and China and other places just because of the pricing in the UK just not being sort of compatible with our budgeting, and so yeah, it does affect.
What?
Because
wrong with you?
everyone is saying what I was saying
About filing taxes.
Not
They're
about
saying
filing
it affects their
taxes.
filing. You said about filing taxes that it affect that you said you wonder if it affects filing
So
taxes.
nasty and so rude.
How am I rude?
So
You literally
nasty
said
and so rude.
Filing taxes.
And that was not the only point I made.
And but that was the point I was addressing.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't. You're like, people in UK, they just stay in their small town and that's it. They don't travel anywhere.
That's what I said. You want me to rewind now? That's what I
looking at the
said.
feature right now.
That's what I said. I said people in
I
UK
want to-
stay in the
you know,
small
there
town
should
and then
be
don't
like
travel.
an
That's what I said.
Inception where we see another window pop up and we go and
Mhm.
review the tapes.
You said
I know
you
what I
wonder
said.
if it
I
affects
said what I
filing
said.
taxes if you work abroad.
That was not the only thing I said.
That's what I was addressing.
Okay, let's wait for someone else to say that too, so you can.
It's going badly.
Okay.
It's gone very badly. And nobody wants to talk about it. The Labour Party doesn't want to talk about it. The Conservative Party doesn't want to talk about it. Liberal Democrats, a little bit about it, but not too much. Yeah, it's really poor.
Well, I wasn't old enough to vote in Brexit, like many others my age. I don't think it's going well from like a personal and a factual point of view, but I have friends that can't live in the same country as each other, might have to choose one or the other, like they can't get visas, they can't get jobs. I personally would have liked to go and live abroad, don't have that option anymore. I think economically I've seen that it's not been good either, but I think it's really damaging to understand the reason why that vote happened as well, and the fact that we were so powerless in taking part in it.
And I noticed that the person who brought in European human rights was Winston Churchill, and that my grandparents did not fight in the Second World War against the Germans to watch it happening here.
Has it affected people around you that you're aware of?
Yeah, I mean, sort of clients of mine who are property developers, they can't find the workforce on the construction sites. It's very difficult. Labour's gone back to Eastern Europe. A lot of the Polish, very good workers have gone back, and so it's very difficult. You know, where's the manpower to build? We talk about wanting to build 1.5 million pound, 1.5 million houses in the next 5 years, but where's the workforce to do it?
That definitely explains kind of that what you said about the workforce, that there isn't employees, not employees, employees. No, you did mention that because we've seen it in the previous videos that there's a work shortage. So it does affect that now you can't import workers as easily. Like we do have immigrants that come in, but the immigrants are mostly like refugees now, not workers. So it does affect that. And again, what I was addressing was the taxes.
So it's limited, it was short-sighted. I think, you know, obviously the generation that voted for it, it's a shame, like they're not going to be around for long. And I think particularly in London, when you work with a lot of like Spanish people and everything, so many people are rushing to get their passports and to get their paperwork in order, and people have had to leave. That's terrible. It's a very, limited view of the world. And yeah, I wish it hadn't happened. Still remember the morning after, it was devastating.
Do you feel as if something's been taken away from your generation?
Yeah, 100%. The opportunity to even live and work in another country, learn another language, experience another type of lifestyle that is better than this.
They cannot like go back.
Oh,
Breckham?
I think they can vote again to join. I think they Honestly, I don't know why they don't vote back. If it's going to shit, why don't just vote, have a referendum, vote back to join the EU? I don't understand why that's not happening.
Because I'm thinking, this is my guess, that this is really affecting the people in London. I don't know if other areas are heavily impacted by this decision because probably they were never traveling in the first place. Probably they remain local. Most of the GDP is in the people of London. So if the people's gonna feel it, maybe the people in London.
I don't know. Maybe you might have a point.
Now I feel like we just have one option, and that's to work in the UK and live in the UK.
And I worry that
Because I assume that other people's in other areas outside of London, they have to contribute to whatever the requirements for EU, and they were like, no. And that was probably the majority.
I think you're underestimating the other areas. I think you think other areas is all like villages and shit. It's not.
Are what?
Villages. They're not.
Oh,
like
I
a
don't
bunch of
know. I don't say they're villages, but
Big cities,
there was a
Manchester.
there obviously was a majority that says we're leaving, and if you're kicking and screaming, you're kicking and screaming.
From how I understand, it barely passed. Like it wasn't like a
So,
wide majority. It was a majority
need to
that
see the
barely
stats.
passed. Now, they would probably a
So
good chunk of those people would change their mind to go back.
So how a big decision is passed by a small margin? Usually there's a revote.
Let me actually look up the
A
statistics.
big decision like that, in a small margin to pass it.
I don't think Brexit has caused this. I think it's part of a symptom. I think it's facilitating it because it makes us weaker to stand up against people like Trump.
Sandy, I'm interviewing people about Brexit, how they think it's going. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a complete disaster. It should never have happened.
Yeah, the UK has voted to leave EU by 52 to 48%.
52 to 48%.
Yeah, so basically by 2%, it barely passed. So I'm pretty sure those 2% now would change their mind. So I think if they wanted to go back, they easily could. There definitely would be 2% of people that would flip back. That didn't see this coming.
So this was on a ballot, like with everybody.
I don't know, but that's what it says.
Elon Musk's support of Trump, and there were reports that he's going to be funding far right in Germany, people who are too far right for Le Pen, and also funding reform and the EDL. I think he's funding the ADL to make reform look more reasonable.
Probably. I'm not quite sure. I won't be able to go and see the Mona Lisa anymore, or whatever it was, for the same price as everybody else. You need a passport.
And insurance.
And insurance, and you'll need a visa soon, and we'll be treated like foreigners rather than friends.
There was a scapegoat, obviously immigrants, but yeah, it was awful, and I wish we could go back.
As an Australian with a British passport, yeah, it was a bit devastating that I couldn't go live in France or somewhere like that, where I would have liked to, but I also very much enjoy living in the UK. So yeah, I think it has taken away that sort of opportunity.
Has it affected you personally?
Well, before Brexit, I did have plans to go and study in the EU, but yeah, because my sister did it, and I was like, oh, I want to do it as well. And then the Brexit came, and I couldn't do it anymore, so yeah.
Up next, do they have a message for the government? Do you have a message to the government?
Well, yes, the government should stop ignoring the 48% who wanted to remain. The 52%, they didn't know whether they were going for a soft Brexit, a medium.
Yeah, the fact that it wasn't like a super majority, but that a simple majority, that's kind of strange. I would think for such a decision, you need at least 2/3, or potentially maybe 3/4 to pass. Like, that's a big decision. So, like, a simple majority, kind of shocking that, as you said, it should be a revote, if any. Like, I don't... 52 to 48, that's real close.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it should have... Yeah, to me, like, for such a decision, 66% at least will have to happen.
Here we have some policies if they don't even make it to 90%. It's like
We do have
no go.
It's been a long time since I had a government class, but I do remember that to pass certain things, you need a super majority.
Brexit? Did they want a customs union still there? Did they want freedom of movement still there? Did they want customs union, single market? We just don't know. It took the politicians about 3 or 4 years to work out. So, I mean, Stammer needs to look at the biggest market in the world is the European Union, and he's ignoring it, and he's flying off to China or whatever. You can talk to the Chinese if he wants, but we should be talking to our neighbours who brought us up from being the sick man of Europe in the 1970s to a flourishing economy. That's the big issue.
So ITV ran a poll, I think, 2 years ago. 86% of people in that poll said they want to rejoin between the ages of 18 and 25.
Okay, well, there we go. Let's.
Well, there you go. That's trans. Well, I guess it's only up to 25-year-olds, but still, 86% want to go back.
Right, let's run with that.
Yeah,
That sounds like a reasonable idea. I think people have the more information now than they did.
It's coming up to 10 years since the referendum.
Wow.
So that's a decade.
That's so crazy.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all getting worse. No, that's not a good thing.
He
to say,
said
but
10 years?
Somewhat true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they voted in 2016. It just took a while to actually do it. Because you have to take steps. You can't just bye.
I think it's not looking forward. It's looking back and glorifying the past, which is not a good idea.
No, and it seems to be the big push within parts of society at the moment. They're quite regressive. Don't change or think of a new solution. Go back to the old values and force everyone to come back with us.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I've been looking at it.
Yeah, incredibly uninspiring. And I think from everyone, I mean, I just want to see people looking forward, and I don't think there's enough of that going on.
Rethink what should be put to a referendum and make sure everyone's educated before.
Just to act as soon as possible. Don't wait to see which way it's going, because I think it's clear which way the wind is blowing now.
Do you have a message for the government then?
Yeah. Bite the bullet and get out.
Be your message then to the British government.
To reconsider.
Would it look bad for British government to change their mind?
Oh, look a little stupid.
Will there be penalties?
I think Europe would take them back. Britain is a powerful country. I don't think there would be any problem. I think they would take them back with open hands.
Do you think they were expecting other countries to follow suit?
Well, they have been talks, like certain countries they want to withdraw, but it would be their loss. Like UK withdrawing, that's kind of Europe's loss too. Like that's a big power withdrawing. A country like, I don't know, Hungary, for example, because they're doing some stuff interesting. If they decide to withdraw, good luck. Like nobody cares. UK people care. That's it's an important country. So I say that to say EU would take them back.
Because I also think that it genuinely affected the economy, and I believe in the power of community and mixity and diversity, and that's what's made London really inviting and welcoming and strong. So, and I feel that London lost a bit of that vibe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, over the last 5 years, I would say, yeah.
Do you feel it's the vibe or it's the economy that
I think it's less dynamic because a lot of people moved back to Paris or went to Amsterdam, for example, in different European cities. So, yeah, London was very attractive, and I think it lost some of that attraction because of Brexit.
Sadiq Khan did an investigation into the effects of Brexit on London. He reckoned, and his committee reckoned, cost everyone living here about $2.5 grand to $3.5 grand per year. Like, it made you worse off. There's no two ways about it. Yeah.
It's a big
I
difference.
really wish you guys would put us back into the EU, but if you can't, just give us some deal that will help us and catapult us back to where we were before. But yeah.
It was amazing and shocking almost to see that no one wanted to support Brexit. Normally I even get heckled about it, but they wouldn't come on camera. None of that happened, and everyone wanted a voice. So up next, what do they think about Nigel?
Oh, do you have a message for Nigel Farage then?
Fuck you. I was doing so well on my expletives.
Do you have a message to Nigel Farage?
Not a big fan.
Stop lying.
Are we allowed to swear?
You can say whatever you want. It's free speech.
I feel like, I don't even need to say what I want to actually say, but yeah, we hate you, like a lot of people like me hate you. I know he hates me too, because, for obvious reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, we can see you for what you are.
And do you have a message for Nigel Farage?
Not printable.
A message to the government? Oh no, sorry, a message to Nigel Farage.
I don't want to be rude.
You could say it in French. I doubt he'd be able to ever translate it.
Maybe, stop, think of other people, don't obsess over your personal agenda and stop lying to people.
Please stop hating on immigrants and please come back to England. What are you doing in America? If you're still in America. And also, please let us know what you're doing with that money that you get from the Reform Party. Yeah.
He's been 7 times in 7 months.
He's what? Yeah. Like, gone to America?
Yeah, 7 times. That doesn't even include then all the conferences he's done, which I think is 3 around the UK.
Exactly.
And then I was down there last week. There's a bus, a burnt-out bus that's on the seafront that's been dumped there for about
In
since
Clacton?
in Clacton since before Christmas.
I do wonder what he does here in the States, though, so
Yeah.
often. I mean, I understand no visit like president, but like once every month, basically. That's a lot.
He's done nothing.
Yeah, because I'm from Essex, and the place I'm from, they voted reform. So, you know, I'm just curious to see what actually is going to be reformed, and if, yeah,
I asked 20 people in Clacton what he'd done for the area.
yeah,
I only got he bought a house
wow.
in 7
Bought a
months.
house.
He bought a house in
Wow.
7 months.
I feel bad for Clacton. Okay.
I feel bad. So what do you think of that?
All right,
Wow.
interesting video.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.